Hey guys, Colin here. Now, before I get to the record, I don't know if you guys remember a couple of summers ago, I and Doug went on a little trip to California, and I had a small little part, an extra in a movie out there. And Doug kind of went along for the ride, and we had a lot of fun out there going out to the ocean and walking around on the beach and so on and so forth. But that movie I was in was called Candy Corn, and I guess now they have finished making that movie after a couple of years. Um, and there's a trailer out for it on YouTube, and I'm going to leave that link below to that trailer if you want to watch it. Um, the actual movie is not supposed to be out till sometime in the fall, possibly around Halloween. Um, and we had a lot of fun doing that. Just like I said, I had a very brief part in it. I'm not in the trailer whatsoever, and I didn't meet very many of the actors and things. I just met a few of them. If you watch the trailer, there's a guy that plays the sheriff. He was in a movie a long time ago called Children of the Corn. I did get to kind of meet him and shake his hand, and I watched a lot of some of the filming that they did at this little carnival scene that we were doing at the time. And check out the trailer I'll leave down there. But the record I wanted to show is Conway Twitty's The Very Best of Conway Twitty. This came out in 1978, and obviously this is a compilation of his greatest hits. And I won't go through all the songs, but there's the song list on there. Now, there's a couple of songs on here that really pop out to me, and that's Linda on My Mind and Don't Cry Joni. Both of those are names of some of my girlfriends in the past. And I'll just kind of briefly tell you how I met both of them. Linda, I met her back in the early 90s when I was just right after I graduated from college. Um, we met in a bar. Our first meeting was in a bar, and sometime during our encounter, she spilled a whole schooner of beer on my downward region. And that was our first encounter. She bumped into me and spilled that whole goblet of beer on me. And we didn't have phones at the time, cell phones. Uh, so she left me her address to where she lived at. I told her, well, I'll write you a letter or something. And she gave me her address on a $1 food stamp. I always thought that was kind of funny. And Joni, obviously, that was my wife. We met in a chicken wing restaurant. And because she had Jody, my other friend, invited me along to go have chicken wings with them. And it just, I don't know if she was trying to hook us up or what, but we we met in that chicken wing place, and Jody had gotten up to go to the bathroom or something, and Joni kind of looked at me and she said, "Why are you looking at me so funny?" And I said, "Well, you, it's just kind of funny. I haven't seen you in like years because I've known her for a long time, but we hadn't seen each other for years." And she said, "Your voice sounds kind of funny too." And I said, "Well, your voice sounds funny," and then everything went on from there. And that's just kind of a brief description of that, of the very best of Conway Twitty and how that kind of brings up memories. Now, some trivia from 1978 was the first test tube baby happened. Um, Night Fever was a big song by the Bee Gees. The movies were Grease, Every Which Way But Loose, and Superman. And a funny late night host was Johnny Carson. I guess he was pretty popular at that time, and he always was, I think, during his whole television talk show host career. Uh, some funny sayings was the plane, boss, from Fantasy Island. That was Tattoo. And another one was Nano Nano by Robin Williams and Mork and Mindy. And I don't have very good impressions of those. And a board game that happened was Hungry Hungry Hippos. I remember having that game. I lost all the marbles from it that kids do. Now, another game that we've been playing, which is another very fun game, and it's called Pitchcar. And this is a racing type of game around a track, except you're not using little cars. It's flicking these little wooden pogs around a track. It has a picture of a race car on it. Um, and how you work this, you flick your car with your finger, and depending on how soft or hard you flick your little cars, how fast or how slow it will go. It has only a few rules. Uh, like if your car flies off the track, you have to start back in your starting position where you last left off. Or if your car turns upside down, you lose a turn. Or if you knock somebody else off the track, then you have to go back to where you started and lose a turn and something along those lines. And it's a pretty big track, and it's all made out of wood. I have a little piece of the wood here to show you one of the pieces. It all fits together like a puzzle. And here's one of the track pieces here. Get the camera to focus. And you obviously your little pog sit on there like that. And I dropped it. And this is a very slick surface, as you can see. So they slide around pretty good on there when you flick it. But that's another really fun game, and it's real simple. Obviously, you kind of decide how many times you want to go around the lap when you first start, or the track when you first start. Like if you want to go by the actual racing, like NASCAR, you could say, well, we're going to do 500 laps around this little track. No, you're not going to do that. I think we did 3. We said, okay, we're going to go 3 times around the track, and whoever gets across the finish line first, the winner. And that's as simple as that. And it's another one of those games where you got to get up and actually walk around and move around to play the game. And it's just very fun. And I highly recommend it, especially if you have some kids, or if you're in a group setting, like maybe you have some people over for a party, some kind of party. And it's fun like that. The only issue, the problem that there is that it's kind of a pricey game, but it's worth it. There's also extensions you can get for that, where it has little ramps and things that you can jump over. And that's my video for today. Colin, over and out, and Weirdos Unite.